Greetings Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War fans and enjoyers. Welcome to the first video I'm making on an idea, concept for the next Middle-earth game, the successor to Middle-earth Shadow of War. Now, those of you that have read at least some of my channel's description might already know what this is all about. Well, before I'll describe my idea, there are some details you need to know. A massive spoiler alert for those of you that haven't played Middle-earth Shadow of War yet, at this point. The last game ended with Talion being betrayed by Eltariel and Celebrimbor, Talion taking Isildur's ring and eventually joining the Nazgul. That means because Sauron died, the Nazgul, including Talion, died with him. Basically, Talion was finally free to die. I think it is obvious that Eltariel, who is in my opinion a poorly written and downright bad, forced-in character, is supposed to take Talion's place as Celebrimbor's vessel and main character. To explain it in a few words, the developers are obviously planning to make the next game about Eltariel and Celebrimbor. Now, I think I can say for sure that many people, including me, are not very pleased by that fact. As I said, Eltariel is pretty much forced in and feels poorly written, in my eyes a downright bad character. As a side character, okay, maybe. As a DLC character, barely, but okay. But as the main character of the next Middle-earth game, to say it in bluntly, nope, never ever does that work. And before all the feminists start typing mad comments saying, oh, just because she's a strong woman, can't stand a strong female character, huh? No, it's not because she's a woman, it's exactly the fact that they tried forcing in a cliché strong female into the plot that makes her not a strong female, but a poorly written, hollow, forced in a gender character. I mean, look at Idril, look at Shelob, heck, even Kanan. Or in Shadow of Mordor, the Queen's daughter, that Beartooth's wife, all of those are, at least in my opinion, incredibly strong female characters. Oh, and look, it works without forcing them in. To conclude, a game that Eltariel is the new main character would be downright stupid and I would certainly not buy it. And before you will say, well, that's you, let me say I have seen tons of comments saying the same. Warner Bros. And Monolith would pretty much shoot themselves in the knee with their move. So, now that we have the part about what I think the next game shouldn't be about out of the way, let's talk about what I think the next game should be. Now let me explain. Sauron is defeated, the Nazgul and the Talion with him. Celebrimbor was able to escape but supposedly lost control over the army he used to conquer Mordor. Eltariel is trying to reunite with Celebrimbor. The forces of elves, men, and dwarves have penetrated deep into Mordor, currently occupying it. Mordor's population dwells in chaos. According to Tolkien, elves, men and dwarves are hunting down the orc/uruk and troll/Olog population, trying to drive their existence out of Middle-earth. Okay, that's the aftermath situation. Now let's ask ourselves one question. Who have we had a connection to right from the beginning, pretty much all times? We started with Celebrimbor, played on as Talion, but the only ones we have been associating with Middle-earth, Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor at any time are the orcs. Yes, you've heard right, the Uruks and Ologs. We have first met them as enemies. Because of both games, we've gotten to know them even as allies. I think the major feature of these games are in fact the orcs. Through the help of a, I assume, clever algorithm, a system that generated a variety of orcs from all the different components, we were given a variety of Uruks and Ologs, none looking like the exact same as another one. The recruiting of these different orcs, all with their own personality and style, that was what made these games so unique, plus the nemesis system of course, making it even more interesting. What is my conclusion? Hold on to your seats. In my opinion, the perfect successor to Middle-earth Shadow of War would be about the Uruks. You've heard right, the main character, that means the player, being an Uruk or Olog soldier, that over the course of the game rises through the ranks, his mission being to take Mordor for the orcs and trolls, the Uruks and Ologs, and become an independent race, the rightful owners of Mordor. Without the Lord, dark or light, to oppress and reign over them, such a thing would indeed be possible. Their only obstacle now being the elven, human and dwarven invaders and of course Celebrimbor and Italia. Of course, that Olog playable character would be customizable, giving the player a character creator similar to what the algorithm in Shadow of War uses. You could choose all the different details like body shape, facial structure and so on, reaching as far as to being able to use the deformed, handsome option or the poisoned, just like the Shadow of War algorithm sometimes chooses. Heck, maybe you would even be able to choose between different voices. You choose your weapon, and later, when you become captain, your armor. You choose a tribe, special abilities unlocking after you came to the point in the story where you become a captain. You'd start as a foot soldier, part of a partisan group, until you reach the point in the story where you become captain, war chief, and even overlord. Basically, you climb through the different ranks, in the end becoming something of an Olog leader, revolutionist warlord. The Nemesis system will of course be in use as well, as you'd have to convince all the different captains to follow you, while others might be against you, and some even stabbing you in the back. These are just some examples. I'll make videos explaining my ideas for the different features in detail. Well, now that you know my idea, tell me, wouldn't it be freaking awesome to basically take the role of those dudes you've been collecting in the last 2 games? Wouldn't it be a million times better than making the next game about a poorly written, hollow, forcing character that almost everyone has a certain hatred against due to her portrayal? Tell me in the comments. I'd be grateful if you'd leave a like or dislike, depending on how you like the video and my concept, since it greatly helps me see what other people think about it. Alright, that's it for today. More videos explaining the concept will soon follow. Bye!